Glasses. He said it would make me look smartier. Bernie Sanders. Bernie. President Bernie. You know, I feel weird using words like values and morals because those are words that have been co-opted by people who wear them as shrouds to justify terrible things like bigotry and greed. I'd like to take those words back tonight and use them to describe Bernie Sanders. Because his moral compass and sense of values inspires me. He always seems to be on the right side of history, and it takes a very brave and very empathetic and very visionary person to do that. Not only was Bernie fighting for civil rights in the 60s, he was also fighting for gay marriage in the 80s. He was against the Iraq War, against deregulation of Wall Street that led to the 2008 collapse, and most importantly, against the breakup of Destiny's Child. I may have made that last one up. Where other candidates are getting gigantic sums of money from billionaires in exchange for compromising favors, Bernie is not for sale. Where the Koch brothers have been pouring hundreds of... Is it Koch or Koch? I think it's either way, like Goldstein. They both work. Where the Koch brothers have been pouring hundreds of millions into Republican candidates. For instance, they just gave Ted Cruz $15 million. Raised $15 million from 250,000 human people making donations and $35 each. Not from the Koch brothers, not from Goldman Sachs, not from Monsanto. He is a man of the people. He has to be. His name is Bernie. And he's a man for the people. He has to be. He's from Vermont. You know, I have a friend named Tall John. He's very tall. It's a non-ironic nickname. And I always go to him when I'm not sure what the right thing to do is, because he has that kind of compass. And I see that in Bernie. He seems to care solely about what is right, what is best for people. And people are what America is made out of, so it works great. He says what he means, and he means what he says, and he is not for sale. You can't buy him, and I just think that is so neat. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you, if we're all very smart and a little bit lucky, the next President of the United States, Senator Bernie Sanders.
thank Simone, Joe, Maria, Dante, Kristen, and Sarah for those wonderful words of welcome. We began this campaign about 3.5 months ago. And the momentum, as you can see tonight, has been extraordinary. All over the country, we have had fantastic turnouts in my hometown of Burlington, Vermont, in Minneapolis, Denver, in Madison, Wisconsin, in Dallas, in Houston, Portland, Maine, New Orleans, in Seattle, in Portland, Oregon, and tonight, with the overflow crowd, we have more than 27,000 people. This is a campaign on the move, and together, this is a campaign that's going to end in victory. This campaign is not a billionaire-funded campaign. It is a people campaign. We don't take money from billionaires. We don't take money from corporations. And yet we have received more individual contributions than any other campaign. We the people! Yes, we don't have the money, but when people stand together, there is nothing we can't accomplish. What this campaign is about is bringing people together. Black and white, straight and gay, men and women, native born and immigrant. When we stand together, when we do not allow our opponents to break us up and divide us, when we stand united, we can create a new America. Let me begin by reiterating a point that Simone and others have made, and that is there is no president, none, 1 year after the death of Michael Brown, no president who will fight harder to end institutional racism than I will. Who will push harder for fundamental changes in our criminal justice system. We do not want to be the country on earth that has more people in jail than any other country. We want to be the country which has the best educated population. And where our kids, where our young people are in school or at work, not in jail. You know, sometimes the media asked me, a couple of months ago, they were saying, well, Bernie Sanders, he's a kind of a fringe guy. Who believes that, when Bernie talks about taking on the billionaire class, nobody believes that's possible. But all over America, people are saying loudly and clearly that this country belongs to all of us and not a handful of billionaires. And this campaign is different, not just because of the vision that we have, but because of the kind of campaign we are running. Let me be very straightforward with you. No president, not Bernie Sanders or anybody else, can take on the Koch brothers, can take on corporate America, can take on the corporate media all by himself. We need a grassroots political revolution.
We the people! United, we will stand!
And what this revolution is about is not just electing Bernie Sanders as president. What this political revolution is about is transforming the United States of America. And to do that, I need your help, not just during the campaign. I will need your help the day after the election as well. Now, the reason why we are doing well in this campaign is because we are telling the truth. To the reality of American life today. We are talking about a reality in which almost all of the wealth and income in this country is going to the top 1%. We are talking about the United States having more income and wealth inequality than any other major country on earth, and we are going to change that. We are talking about over half of all new income generated today going to the top 1%, and we're going to change that. The issue of income and wealth inequality in its broadest sense is the great moral issue of our time, the great economic issue of our time, the great political issue of our time, and we together are going to address it. There is something profoundly wrong when the top 1/10 of 1% owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. I want to see a situation not only where every person in this country who has the ability and has the desire can go to college regardless of income, but this is also what I want. You know and I know that there are kids in LA today in the 3rd or 4th grade, kids in my state of Vermont, 5th grade, 6th grade. Their parents never went to college. They don't know any people who have gone to college. And the idea of going to college for them is nothing more than a dream which they believe they will never fulfill. I want those kids in the 3rd grade and the 5th grade to understand that if they do their schoolwork seriously, if they study hard, they will be able to go to college. And when we talk about the absurdity of how we finance higher education in America, we are also aware that millions of Americans, some young and some not so young, are being overwhelmed by outrageous student debts and high interest rates on those debts. It makes no sense to me that we have people paying 8, 9, 10% interest rates on student debt when we can refinance our homes for 2 or 3%. So the legislation that I've introduced will allow people to refinance at lower interest rates and also get the government out of profiteering on high interest rates. I have talked to too many people who are paying 20, 25% of their limited income paying off their student debt. That has got to end. When we talk about our responsibilities as human beings and as parents, there is nothing more important than leaving our planet healthy and habitable for our kids and our children. The scientific community has spoken in an almost unanimous voice. Climate change is real, caused by human activity. It is already causing devastating problems in our country and around the world. And what they tell us is if we don't get our act together soon, the situation will become much worse. They're telling us that by the end of this century, if we allow business to go on as usual, this planet will be between 5 and 10 degrees Fahrenheit warmer. That means more drought, more floods, more extreme weather disturbances, more acidification of the ocean, more rising sea levels, more international conflict as people fight for limited natural resources. We have the moral responsibility to lead the world in transforming our energy system. In moving away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency and sustainable energy. Now, as perhaps the most progressive member of the Senate, needless to say, I have many disagreements with my Republican colleagues. But on this issue, what we are seeing is an international embarrassment because the vast majority of Republicans are rejecting science, and we cannot do that. And I urge my Republican colleagues not to worry so much about your campaign contributions from the Koch brothers and ExxonMobil and the coal companies. Worry about the future for your kids and your grandchildren. Some of you know it and some of you don't. There is one major country on earth, one, that does not guarantee health care to all people as a right, and that is the United States of America. Today, despite the gains of the Affordable Care Act, 35 million Americans lack health insurance, and even more are underinsured. In my strong view, we must join the rest of the industrialized world, guarantee health care to every man, woman, and child as a right, not a privilege. And the best way to do that is through a Medicare for all single-payer program. What this campaign is about is the understanding that the rich get richer and everybody else gets poorer because we are not standing together as one people. And when we talk about bringing our people together, I hope all of you understand that it is absolutely imperative that we bring 11 million undocumented people out of the shadows.